Assalamu alaikum. This is Mohammed Singh welcoming you English news from BTV Chattogram. Now let's move into the details. The Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus addressed UNGA calls for revitalization of SARC. The interim government making relentless efforts to ensure food buffer stock and adequate supply, says Food Advisor. Relief Advisor calls upon to exercise caution while using social media during Durga Puja. The Chattogram City Corporation distributes financial donations to Puja Mondaps. City Corporation working in coordination with administration to keep Mondaps safe, says City Mayor. Israeli forces kill 60 across Gaza as they escalate attacks in ground operation. And Bangladesh lose to India by 4-1 goals in penalty in sub-under-17 football championship final in Colombo. Viewers, those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. The Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus called for the revitalization of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation (SAARC). He made this call while delivering his speech at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York on Friday. Professor Yunus said, established 4 decades ago, SAARC achieved notable progress in its early years and laid a strong foundation for regional cooperation. He said, despite political deadlock, its institutional structure remains intact. Professor Yunus said, for shared development, there is no alternative to regional cooperation among neighbors. He said, as the first country in South Asia, Bangladesh is firmly committed to peaceful regional cooperation in this area, and that is why it has recently joined the United Nations Water Convention. The Chief Advisor said, Bangladesh is advancing regional connectivity and trade through initiatives such as BIMSTEC, BBIN, the Asian Highway and SASEC. Professor Yunus said, Bangladesh is in the process of graduating from the category of least developed countries to that of developing countries. He said, enhanced cooperation from the international community, in particular the relevant entities of the United Nations, is essential to ensure a smooth and sustainable transition. The Chief Advisor acknowledged the contribution of the United Nations to Bangladesh progress and development. BNP and Jamaat Islami have welcomed the speech of Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. They said, by involving the government in its work and bringing the country's major political parties to the United Nations, the nation has been shown to the world that it is united.
এমন এক সময়ে ওনাদের সরকার আপনার দায়িত্ব নিয়েছে যে যখন দেশে একটা গণ-অভ্যুত্থানের পরে একটা শূন্যতার মধ্যে আমরা রাজনৈতিক দলগুলো এবং ছাত্ররা মিলেই কিন্তু তাদেরকে সেই দায়িত্বটা আমরা দিয়েছিলাম এবং এই 1 বছরের মধ্যে চেষ্টা করেছেন যে একটা ভয়াবহ অবস্থায় অর্থনীতি ছিল, রাজনীতি ছিল, যে শূন্যতা সৃষ্টি হয়েছিল, একটা সংকট তৈরি হয়েছিল, সেখান থেকে আপনার একটা ফিরিয়ে নিয়ে এসে মোটামুটিভাবে একটু আপনার অবস্থায় নিয়ে আসার চেষ্টা করেন। তার ভাষণের মধ্যে ওই কথাগুলোই এসছে, তার সরকার এসে কীভাবে তিনি কাজগুলো শুরু করেছেন সেটাই তিনি আজকে জাতির সঙ্গে কথাগুলো তুলে ধরেছেন। সেদিক থেকে আমরা অত্যন্ত খুশি এই জন্যে ফর দ্য ফার্স্ট টাইম উনি বিরোধী রাজনৈতিক দলগুলোকে সরকারের কাজের সঙ্গে সম্পৃক্ত করে তিনি জাতিসংঘে নিয়ে এসেছিলেন এবং সেখানে তার যে মূল উদ্দেশ্যটা ছিল যে ইউনিটি অফ দ্য নেশন, জাতির যে ঐক্য, এই ঐক্যটাকে প্রকাশ করা, যেটাতে আমি মনে করি যে ইউনিক আপনার একটা এফোর্ট এবং বাংলাদেশের প্রেক্ষিতে এটা খুবই প্রয়োজন, সেটা তিনি উদ্যোগ নিয়েছেন এবং আমরা সেই জন্যই তাকে সর্বাত্মক সহযোগিতা করেছি। আমাদের নেতা তারেক রহমান স্যার সেই জন্যই এটাকে সমর্থন করেছেন।
কোনো রাষ্ট্রপ্রধানের সাথে দেশের মূল পলিটিক্যাল স্টেক হোল্ডার যারা, তাদেরকে সবার সঙ্গে করা, আমরা ওনার এই ব্যতিক্রমী উদ্যোগকে স্বাগত জানিয়েছি যে আমাদের পক্ষ থেকে আগে থেকেই। আজকে আমরা সেটাকে আবার এটাকে স্বাগত জানাই যে আজকে আমরা গেলাম সেখানে, এটা রিফ্লেক্টেড হয়েছে যে বাংলাদেশ জনগণ ইউনাইটেড আছে, যে সকল মেজর রাজনৈতিক দলের নেতারা এখানে একসাথে আসছি, আমরা কথা বলছি। এটাই দেশের মানুষের জন্য নিঃসন্দেহে একটা পজিটিভ বার্তা হবে, যেখানে রাজনৈতিক দলগুলো গত 15 বছর একে অন্যের চেহারা দেখতে পারত। নাও উই আর ফ্লাইং টুগেদার, ইটিং টুগেদার, সিটিং টুগেদার, ডিসকাসিং টুগেদার।
The Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin said the government has full confidence in the Election Commission. He said this comment while speaking at the conference of the election officials organized by the Bangladesh Election Commission of Officers Association at the Election Commission Secretariat Auditorium in the capital. The conference was presided over by Muhammad Munir Hussain, the convener of the organization. Among others, Election Commissioner Abdul Rahman Al Masood, Begum Tahmida Ahmed, Anwar Islam Shorkar, retired Brigadier General Abul Fazl Muhammad Sanullah, and Election Commission Senior Secretary Akhtar Ahmed delivered speeches. The Chief Election Commissioner said no illegal directives are being issued by the Election Commission. The Commission is not working in favor of anyone nor will it in the future. He also hoped that a fair and neutral election would be organized by facing all challenges. For the first time, this conference was held with the participation of central and field-level officials of the Election Commission Secretariat, joined by Upazila, district and regional election officers from across the country. A food advisor, Alima Mojumdar, said the interim government is making relentlessly vigorous efforts to ensure food buffer stock and their adequate supply into the market during its tenure. Food advisor made the remark while briefing journalists after a meeting on open market sale (OMS) programs at City Circuit House today. The advisor said almond collection drive will begin at the end of November at a rate more than 4 taka per kg comparing to last borer season. The food advisor said the government will take punitive action against those who will try to create an artificial crisis in the rice market. Chittagong Divisional Commissioner Dr. Muhammad Jiauddin was in the chair, while Director General of Food Department Abul Hasnat Humayun Kabir and field-level officials of the Food Department were present on the occasion. Advisor to the Ministries of Disaster Management and Relief and Liberation War Affairs, Farooq Azam said, all citizens in the country are entitled to equal opportunities and facilities from the state, emphasizing that every individual deserves equal respect regardless of religion, caste or wealth. He made these remarks while addressing a cloth distribution ceremony organized by the Bangladesh Puja Udjapon Porishad Chattogram district in the city this afternoon. The advisor said all members of the society have a responsibility to ensure the smooth completion of the upcoming Sharadya Durga Puja. Participants in the puja must bear a greater share of this duty. He also called upon those concerned to exercise caution while using social media during the Durga Puja period. A president of the Chattogram District Puja Udjapon Porishad, Advocate Nitai Prasad Ghosh, presided over, among others, trustee of the Hindu Religious Welfare Trust Deepak Kumar Palit and Narayan Chaudhary, along with other leaders of the Puja Udjapon Porishad, were present. The audition of BTV's popular talent search program, Notun Kuri, is being held in Chattogram at the regional level. Artists, guardians and cultural personalities have praised BTV for developing the talents of children and adolescents through this program. Joint Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Mahfouza Akhtar and Deputy Secretary Ibrahim Bhuiya visited the audition of Notun Kuri held at the District Shilpakala Academy today. During their visit, they expressed the government's overall support for such an event by BTV. They spoke to various contestants, judges and parents. They told the media that practicing local culture can prevent aggression of foreign culture. Therefore, the government is providing all of support to such an event by BTV like Notun Kuri. The judges of the program said the huge participation of young artists in the audition is programming. Such an event is very important to introduce the new generation to the local culture and discover talented artists spread across the country. Parents expressed relief that this popular program for child artists has started after a long 19 years and hope that this trend will continue. Young artists have participated in the competition in 9 categories, including dance, singing, and poetry recitation. The regional selection of the competition, dividing the country's 64 districts into 19 regions, will continue till 29th of September. Contestants who will receive yes cards at the regional level will be selected to participate in the divisional level. The divisional level audition will be held from October 4 to 11. Financial donations were given to 275 puja mondops in the Chattogram City Corporation area on the occasion of the Sharadiya Durga Puja. City Mayor Dr. Shahdat Hussain distributed checks of 5,000 taka for each puja mandap on behalf of the City Corporation at the city's Laldiki Public Library premises today. In addition, a donation of 5 lakh taka was given to the Chattogram Metropolitan Puja Udyapan Parishad on behalf of the City Corporation in the program. City Mayor Dr. Shahdat Hussain said the City Corporation is working in coordination with the administration to keep each mandap safe during the Durga Puja. He said, "Our goal is to build a beautiful city in harmony with everyone, regardless of religion or caste." The City Corporation Secretary Ashraful Amin, a former councillor Ismail Bali, a social welfare and culture officer Mamunur Rashid, Chattogram City Corporation Puja Udyapan Parishad President Ashutosh Dev, General Secretary Shumana Das Raju, Acting President of Chattogram Metropolitan Puja Udyapan Parishad Professor Arpan Kanti Banerjee, Acting General Secretary Advocate Nikhil Kumar Nath, a former President, valiant freedom fighter Aurobindo Paul Arun, Organizing Secretary of Bangladesh Hindu Buddhist Christian Welfare Front Rajiv Dhar Tamal, and other concerned persons were present on the occasion. Now, international news. Israeli forces killed 60 people across Gaza on Friday. At least 30 of the victims were killed in Gaza City, where Israel has escalated its attacks since launching a ground operation in 16th of September. Locations including Al-Weda Street, the Shati Camp and the Nasser neighborhood were struck on Friday. One attack also hit the residential Ramal neighborhood in the west of the city. The attack occurred without prior warning, and Palestinian civilians were looking for survivors through the rubble of a building while medical teams took away the bodies of the dead. Citing the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, UN spokesperson Stephen Dujarric said at a news conference on Friday that amid the increased bombardment, Israel carried out an airstrike every 8 or 9 minutes over the past 24 hours with devastating consequences for civilians. Added to the deaths from Israeli strikes, Palestinian medical sources confirmed that 13 people were killed on Friday as they attempted to get aid from sites run by controversial Israel and United States-backed GHF. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attacked the recognition of a Palestinian state by multiple Western countries during a combative speech at the UN General Assembly. Netanyahu labeled the recognition moves a mark of shame that sent the message murdering Jews pays off. Dozens of officials and diplomats staged a walkout as he took the podium, leaving large parts of the conference hall empty. Outside, protesters against Israel's war in Gaza gathered in Times Square. Israel has come under huge international pressure over its military action in Gaza, culminating in the UK, France, Canada, Australia and other countries recognizing the state of Palestine this week. It went on to refute the conclusion of a UN Commission of Inquiry that Israel had committed genocide in Gaza, claiming the charge was baseless. He also rejected statements by multiple UN agencies that Israel is deliberately restricting the amount of aid entering Gaza. In August, a UN-backed body confirmed that a famine was taking place in Gaza City.